return. The officials are come out. And we forgot to mention 2 illustrious members of the old Jersey Devils are here tonight. One very close by to me and one down on the Hartford bench.
Well, if you count Jack Buck Michelhargy, there's 3. Yeah. So we're talking about Larry Plow. Larry Plow, the coach, general manager, and director of hockey operations here for the Hartford Whalers, was a former teammate of mine with the Jersey Devils way back in 1960.
By the way, you know, it's interesting. Katsopoulos, the defenseman acquired in that trade for Mike Rogers along with Sullivan. Hey, we want to remind you, playoff tickets available right now. You don't have to go anywhere, put your shoes on. You can do it with the bathrobe or whatever else you're wearing. All you have to do is get over to the phone. And if you're outside the Philadelphia general area, code of 215, then dial 215 and the number LINE, line, LINE 555. Operators right now on duty. You can start picking up playoff tickets just by dialing that number as the Flyers return.
We have some updated scores. Quebec, on a goal by Hunter, has tied the Vancouver Canucks at 2 in the second period. Chicago now out in front of Detroit 3-0 in the second. Montreal 2-0 over Minnesota in the second. St. Louis leads the Islanders still 2-1 in the first. Rangers and Washington are scoreless at 1. And the Winnipeg Jets have gotten another goal. This time Willie Lindstrom has scored. They now lead the Leafs 2-0. Other action, Calgary's in Colorado, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are on the West Coast to play the Los Angeles Kings.
Well, there's one executive in the National Hockey League that's cheering for the Detroit Red Wings to go right down to the bottom. The Red Wings have lost 10 in a row. They're on their way to their 11th tonight, and they're only 3 points ahead of Colorado. And Nanny, who thought earlier in the year that with the moves that Detroit made that there'd be no chance that he'd get a low draft pick, he picked up theirs in the summer, as you recall, for picking up Greg Smith and Don Murdoch. And right now, the Red Wings are only 3 points out of last, and Mr. Nanny would have his pick. With the shots on goal, 25 Philadelphia, 24 for the Whalers. Play on at center ice, the Flyers defending left, and Mahar takes the puck as he's on with Howard and Warren Miller against the Flyers line of Sittler, Allison, and Flockhart. Howard drops back to Mahar along the near side to the point. Flockhart breaks it up, and that allows Allison to scoot through at center. Left winging to Jimmy Watson. All he can do as he made the reach was dig it into the zone. Millen pokes to the near side. Allison digs it out. Shot, trying to get it in front. It's knocked down by a high stick. Covered in front, and then it slides in on goaltender Millen. And we get a high stick violation call against the Whalers with the Flyers an offensive right circle faceoff.
We had a chance to take a look at that Katsopoulos, Gene, and you know, you just look over the stats. That was a trade that everybody thought, holy cow, the Rangers just really stole Mike Rogers. Rogers is a heck of a hockey player, but Katsopoulos is having a good year, 13 goals. Sullivan, the other major player in that trade, has picked up 30. So they've picked up 43 goals between the two.
Well, we just saw a golf ball bounce on the ice from somewhere, went 100 feet in the air and bounced out of the rink, fortunately. Puck on the far side, Mahar. Nice drop pass to Miller. Up the middle, left wing into Howard. Howard's cut off by the back checking of Flockhart, who rolls to Jimmy Watson. Left side to Hopmeyer. Beautiful outlet pass on the right side. It's sent to Allison. He's got Flockhart for the net. He's gone in, and it was swept off his stick beautifully by Mark Howe as Sittler along the far side stripped to the puck, and back come the Whalers. Miller up the middle, flips offensive left corner. Howard's there for a rebound. Carrot shot, and that's wide of the net, and there's Sittler picking up and laying it through to Flockhart at center on the left wing at the Whaler line. Drops to Sittler, jam shot in on the net from the top of the left circle. Save as Sittler fights for the rebound in the offensive corner. Grabs a hold of Warren Miller, but the Whalers, Renault goes back to help out and jabs it up into the middle where it's knocked down by Flockhart, but onto the stick of Warren Miller. He lifts it high in the air into the corner right of Pelle Lindbergh as the Whalers bring out a new line. They have Keon out there along with Stoughton and now Knockbauer. As Philadelphia up through looking for Clark, the Whalers break that up and turn back the other way. Keon at the Flyer line, lifts it in, it bounces in Lindbergh. He covers that, looks, up, plays off, and it hits Stoughton, and the Flyers almost lose it. They do. They've got Stoughton in front with Keon through the goal mouth, and Lindbergh deflected it back to the point, shot in by Renault, and that one is deflected wide as the Flyers come out to Sinisalo at center, through to Barber. Barber at the line, up the middle to Clark. The Whalers break that up, but there's Sinisalo, the trailer, tried to deke inside Katsopoulos instead of taking that 30-foot slot shot. Now Clark is in, tried to put it in the slot to Barber. Whalers break that up and slap it out to center, and the Flyers drive it back in, catching Barber offside. 2:06 gone, third period from the Hartford Civic Center. We're tied at 2. We'll be back on the Radio Network and Prism tomorrow night at 7 with the same 2 at the Spectrum, and our next simulcast with the Radio Network and Channel 29 a week from tonight at 8 from the Cap Center against the Washington Capitals.
I'll tell you, Cinisello had an excellent shooting opportunity, and he tried to work it in closed for a pass. And one thing the Flyers have to do is shoot more from the top of the circles.
Francis out with Douglas and Neufeld as the Flyers. Ben Wilson on with Jimmy Watson through to Lynchman, cutting in on the net. He's there, a shot. Millen does the stack pads and smothers the shot from in tight.
Goaltenders who do a lot of flopping are very good when the shots are coming from in close. In fact, they're excellent when you have to have that man in and around the goal crease. And Lynchman had an excellent job, or did an excellent job, of screening off that poke check away from Wesley with his foot. But by the time he was able to take the shot, he was only about 3 feet from the goalie, and he just stacked up the pads and laid across the goal and froze it.
Lynchman, Hill, and Holmgren along with Watson and Ben Wilson. Draw won by the Whalers. They have Wesley back with Mark Howe. Puck behind the net. Good check by Al Hill as he's really thumping people. Lynchman along that far side tried to center, but the Whalers dig it off and get it up through to Wesley at center ice. Flips in, attack left wing corner. Then Wilson trails in after with Jordy Douglas. Takes it away around to the far side. He's double teamed. Tries to slap it up on the far boards. 3 Whalers, 2 Flyers in there. And Kerry Frazier looks to see if that puck is tied up and finally says yes it is. And from the Flyers defensive left wing circle dot, he stops play.
Well, the man who has played excellent for the Flyers all evening, Al Hill, and he's been taking a regular shift, Gene, which can really account for an awful lot of his play, because when you're only getting out there maybe 1 or 2 shifts a game, and it's very tough to get your flow going, get the rhythm going, but he is giving a chance to play regular tonight, and Al Hill doesn't want to lose it.
Mahar with Miller and Howitt. Philadelphia, their own circle, get it back to Marsh, who's on with Hoffmeyer, and up front they have Sittler with Allison and Flockhart. Puck at center. Mahar does a nice job of stripping Philadelphia and drilling it into the Flyer zone. Marsh chased behind the net by Howitt. Nice back pass to the open right wing side to Hoffmeyer, and up through past Allison at center, and the Whalers chip it back in. Let the Flyers come up. Allison at center tries once to get it in through along the near boards. Sittler can't make the play, and the Whalers drive it down the left wing boards into the Philadelphia end. Hoffmeyer in front of his own net, shadowed by Miller, gets a pass off Miller's stick to center ice, deflects off the linesman Brossiker to Sittler, who sends it through for Allison, whose shot is covered easily by Millen. Both teams very cautious. Neither really get the good opportunity, except for that drive by Lynchman moments ago. 3.5 gone in the third period. We're tied at 2. Whalers got 2 in the first. Flyers got 2 in the second. As there's a play through, almost a 2-on-1. They got an open man in front, Warren Miller. But Marsh covered the puck behind the net and wouldn't let the Whalers make the play to Rick Mahar. Now there's Flockhart up on the far side to Sittler, trying to let it deflect to center. Mark Howe wouldn't let him do it, so the Flyers try up on the near side. In there's Allison to slow down Stoughton, but the Whalers doing forechecking. Centering pass, tipped away from Stoughton at Sittler, then pivots out of his own left wing circle and slaps it to center ice. Schmier sends it back in front of the Flyer net from center. Flockhart takes it around behind. And we'll get Flockhart backhanding it, but not out. And then it bounces off Mark Howe through to Sittler. 1-on-1. Drive past in front again as Millen couldn't stop it on the carom from behind the net. Sittler unable to get the rebound shot. Here comes Keehunt lowering up at center. Through into the Philadelphia zone, but offside. Knockbauer on his left. We get the stoppage of play with 15:39 remaining in the game. Here at the Hartford Civic Center, it's the Flyers 2, the Whalers 2.
Well, Dennis Baruch's 57th goal of the season has given Washington a 1-0 lead over the New York Rangers in the second period.
Rangers back home against St. Louis tomorrow night, while the Flyers are home to Hartford. Philadelphia Barber now with Gorance and Clark. Watson and Ben Wilson. The puck goes in the Hartford zone. Katsopoulos lifts it high in the air. It bounces at the Flyer line. Ben Wilson has to take a rolling puck and get it out the center past Clark and all the way down. Trailing official Gordy Brossiker says, yep, that's an icing, and it's called by the trailing official Bob Hodges. And so we played 4:39 into a scoreless third period. The penalties in the game, the Flyers have 9 of 14. The goals are even at 2, and the shots now 29 Philadelphia, 26 for Hartford. And in this period, Philadelphia has 4 and the Whalers have 2.
Mark Renaud, he was voted the best defensive defenseman in the Ontario Junior or Major Junior League, and I'm not so sure if that's such a great award, because there's probably only about 3 or 4 guys that'd be in the running for that this day and age of high-scoring defensemen.
Clark, Gorance, Barber, Wilson, Watson. Francis out along with Neufeld and McIllargey on the wing to the point. Katsopoulos right on, and Lindbergh had to be quick to see that one as Gorance tries to tip it through into center ice and does. Here comes Barber through to Clark. Just misfires into the right wing corner. Clark is there, tries to center. Blocked off by Katsopoulos. Winds it up around behind the net and up into the end seats far corner. Flyers will get an offensive circle face-off as that one was close from the quick drive through the screen that Lindbergh covered well.
Tell you, he almost had an excellent chance had they made a couple of passes as Renault now is making his way over to the bench. He's only in his first year, 23 years of age. He was a 5th-round draft pick, so that also might be a reason why you find a lot more offensive defensemen in juniors, Gene. Here's a guy who was voted the best defensive defenseman, and he only goes in the 5th round.
Holmgren, Hill, Lynchman with Arthur and Marsh. Offensive right circle draw. Mahar wins that one, tries to come up on the near side to Howard, and there's a clean 3-on-2. Mahar up the middle with Miller on the right, on the near side Howard. They drop to Miller, he's in, shot, blocked by Brad Marsh, and Lynchman turns back the other way to Holmgren, back to Lynchman, 2-on-3, tries to lift it through Wesley, and does, but the other defenseman came across to pick it off, and then the loose play at center ice, the puck shot into the player bench near side. Hartford players all ducking Renault. Got that one off the top of his helmet as Bob Hodges looks on now with Gordy Brossiker for the face-off directly below us.
Gene, I know it's starting to sound like the Al Hill show, but boy, did he ever make an excellent effort to come back on that play when the Whalers had a 3-on-2, and just as Miller was able to get the shot off, Hill buried him with a check.
Hill, Lynchman, Holmgren, Marsh, and Arthur. Mahar with Warren Miller and Howitt. Mark Howe has been out there most of the night with Blake Wesley. The Whalers control the draw. Retreats in his own end, puts a left circle pass to Wesley, tries to come out, blocked off, and Howard has to go back to help out. Up the middle, Mark Howe. He has assists on both goals. Through into the zone, left circle, and that one goes off the facade of the upper deck behind Pelle Lindbergh on the deflection of Fred Arthur as we have played 5 minutes, 31 seconds into a scoreless third period here at Hartford. The score overall, Flyers 2 and the Whalers 2. Gene Hart along with Bobby Taylor back in Hartford 2-2 with 14:29 remaining in the game. Flyers, who have Arthur back with Marsh, win the draw that was in their own zone just inside the blue line. Lynchman is on swinging with Al Hill and Holmgren as the Flyers working out of their zone. Marsh gets it through on the bounce to center ice. Holmgren blocks it off for Hill, who can only come over the red line and wind it around behind Millen. In there's Lynchman very quickly as Millen winds it up on the ledge far side, and the Whalers roll it to center ice. That play made by Blaine Stoughton. Fred Arthur retreats, shoots it up the center. Al Hill is onside. Brad Marsh almost was beaten by Blaine Stoughton, who was going the other way, and then Marsh and Hill rip it out of their own zone across the center ice red line where it hits Holmgren offside.
New York Islanders have gotten a goal from Mike Bossy. They have tied the Blues now this game at New York, 2-2 in the second period. And Winnipeg has picked up 2 more goals in the second period. They now lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-0.
That goal for Bossy, like the one from Marouk, 57 on the year. Up ice comes Sittler, lifting it into the attack zone. There goes Allison in along with Renault, who clears it away, but Sittler gets it back behind the net, and there is Allison again with Renault. They jam one another up. That allows Keon, unchallenged, to bring it out on the near side to Knockbauer. Rolls it up to Keon. Looks on the open far side, but he's checked by Flockhart, but rolls up the middle. There's an open wing pass. Stopped the shot from the right circle. Blocked this time, and up into the end seats by Jimmy Watson.
Defense for the Flyers are standing up a little bit better in this second and third period as well. And, you know, we've harped on it an awful lot, but anytime that you have the defensive team outnumbering the offensive team in that zone or making that rush, those defensemen have to make that play at the blue line. Don't let them take it so easily. And a lot of occasions you've seen a 2-on-3 or even a 2-on-4. And players will back right in, and they'll still be able to get a shot away on goaltenders, on the Flyers goaltenders.
Francis, Neufeld, and Jordy Douglas against the Flyers line of Allison, Sittler, and Flockhart. Whalers cleared back in from center ice. Jimmy Watson up along the left side. It slips off Sittler's stick. Flockhart does a nice job of checking off Mark Howe, pulls Sittler down. Play allowed to continue. Sittler down into the left wing corner. Angled shot. Save, and the rebound kicked right through the trailer Allison. And back comes Hartford at center ice on the right wing. Mark Howe penetrates against Watson. Holds. Looks for the trailer. Had Francis in. But the Flyers back checking. Allison chopped the puck down and got it through through to Sittler at center ice. At the Whaler lines, got Flockhart with him. They collide as they were just two bunch. Whalers pick up the loose puck, and Francis at center ice. At the Flyer line, tries to roll it in. It's blocked. There's a shot from the right circle on the opportunity, deflected by Neufeld, and the Flyers come back with a rebound. Allison at center. Over the line, swings wide, drive, and Millen from the right angle side grabs the puck, and then looks like he's playing workies up and was going out to first base to touch up, but whistle blew from Kerry Frazier as we played 7:19 in this game, third period. 2-2 the score.
I'll tell you, when he grabbed that puck and started to skate out, it reminded me of an old goaltender that played in Chicago and Oakland and Vancouver. The next teammate of Bob Daly's,
Gary Smith.
Right, they used to call him the Axe. He used to skate all over the place there. In fact, he used to skate out to the blue line and drop kick the puck out.
Remember the last time he came in Philadelphia, they were giving an ovation to someone, you recall, and he was taking all the bows, and then he had to come in and pinch hit. That was blitz for 2 or 3 goals. I have to think of who that was.
Well, I think it was McElhargey's first game back in Philadelphia after the first trade to Vancouver, and Smith was a character.
Clark out there with Sinisalo and Barber. Ben Wilson with Brad Marsh. Whalers win the draw. They have Katsopoulos out there along with Reynaud. Does a good job of bringing it to center. Boom. Down goes Mahar as he was tackled by Ben Wilson, and the Flyers get it up through at center ice. Sinisalo can't handle it. Bounces off his stick to the near side. Nice forechecking by Mahar at center ice. Jams the puck up right at the Flyer player bench to the near side directly below us. So we have 12:23 remaining in the game. 2-2 the score, and the shots very, very, very miserly in this period. The Whalers have 3 and the Flyers have 6.
Rick Mahar had quite a college career at Boston University as Ben Wilson knocked the centerman down. In fact, he had such a career at Boston University, Gene, he was voted their athlete of the decade in the 70s.
Pass up through to Clark. Ben Wilson breaking through, and the Flyers dump in. Sinisalo in pursuit. Millen plays it up along the near side. Ben Wilson goes in deep against Howitt to try to keep it in to Clark. To Barber, offensive right wing corner, jammed up by Katsopoulos. It comes out to Sinisalo. Tries to put it in the slot. Flyers lose it, get it back to Wilson. Winds it around behind the Whaler net to Clark. Comes out of that corner away from the forechecking of Katsopoulos. Did not make the play. And out breaks Gary Howitt at center. Checked from behind by Sinisalo, who takes the puck away and sends it through to Barber. Deep angle left shot off the stick of Mark Reynaud of the Whalers and into the end seats as we get a stoppage of play with 11:46 remaining in the game. Hartford 2 and the Flyers 2. Gene Hart along with Bobby Taylor are at Hartford Civic Center. A good crowd on hand with 11:46 remaining in the game. It's been a sparkler, 2-2. Flyers get it back to Arthur at the point. Works to the backhander. Tries to drill it on the net. Blocked off by Blake Wesley. And taken by the Whalers on the near side. But it's played by Holmgren trying to find a pass out of the right corner. And up come the Whalers at center with Lynchman back and Jimmy Watson against 3 Whalers. Offside. Oh, that was a good setup as the Flyers had a defenseman caught in and the Whalers butchered the play at the Philadelphia line.
That's an awful play. When you have a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1, the Cardinal sin is to go offside on the play. And boy, they had an excellent chance. And you shouldn't really, if in a 2-2 hockey game, get caught with those 3-on-2s or those 2-on-1s. But fortunately, the Whalers blew it.
But the one positive thing on the Philadelphia side, Kenny Lynchman did realize that his man Arthur was in the corner and picked up that spot on the right side like he's supposed to. Now Lynchman up through at center. He's got Hill on his left. Hill going in, angle shot, save, rebound in front, and Holmgren couldn't get a piece of it thanks to some good back checking by Don Knockbauer, was where he belonged. The Whalers getting it up through on the left wing at center. There's Knockbauer, just comes over the red line and winds it around behind the Philadelphia net. Brad Marsh picks it up there. Weak pass, but Philadelphia's Hill gets it back on along the near side, and Ben Wilson carries up the center. Through where Lynchman tips it in the Whaler zone from the blue line. Millen tries to drive it out along the far boards, and it caroms off a stack of bodies. Marsh, Hill, and Blaine Stout in the center. Ben Wilson retreating. Puts it on Holmgren's stick, and Holmgren can't find the handle, and following it up is Warren Miller to drive it behind the Philadelphia net. Cleared pass. Ben Wilson picked up by Jordy Douglas. Bumped from behind by Paul Holmgren, but that's a good check. Now Douglas tries to come out of that corner. The puck is loose. Kick to the near side where the Flyers have 4 players. They try to come out. Blocked once. Blocked the second time. And finally, Al Hill scoots it all the way down. It's off the side of the cage, and we'll have an icing call as it just missed the crease. From the Hartford Civic Center, with 10:26 remaining in the game, our score, the Flyers 2 and the Whalers 2. Dean Arndt along with Bobby Taylor at the Hartford Civic Center. 10:26 remaining in a scoreless third period with our game tied at 2. Face-off, offensive right circle by the Whalers. Flyers try to clear out. It's dumped toward the net and picked up by Allison. Allison looking through for Sittler on the far wing. It caroms to the Whaler line where they break up the play. Jimmy Watson follows up in full flight into the zone. Past Allison. He's pulled down, and we're going to have a penalty against Jordy Douglas. And for the second time in the game on the Whalers' 6th penalty, we're going to have a Flyer power play.
This will give them an excellent opportunity to take the lead for the first time, and Allison just breaking up through the middle, got past the defenseman, and Douglas was the lone man back, and he just hooked him. Allison helped things out as well as he went to the ice with that hook, and the penalty occurs at 9:53. And the Flyers will have the power play. And for the Flyers, that's only their second power play of the game. They picked up one in the second period. The early portion of the second period when Blake Westby was sent off for holding.
Well, I'll tell you, the power plays have been few and far between this week. They had 3 to no result on Thursday against Chicago. They only had 1 against the Rangers on Wednesday. And last Saturday against the Washington Caps, they had 2. So that's 2, 1, 3. This is just their 8th power play in 4 games. That's 2 a game. Now Barber along the right boards to Flockhart. Straight away to Barber. In front, Sittler tried to jam her. It rolls off the side of the net. The Whalers take it off, and it's slapped by Schmier to center ice. Ben Wilson and Barber at the point, and they have Flockhart out there with Allison and Sittler. Now Ron Francis at center ice breaks down a cross ice pass, and the Flyers jam it back in their own zone as Francis is out there with Warren Miller, and defensively they have Schmier on with Mark Howe. Is Mark Howe playing a 45-minute game tonight?
Sure looks that way.
Puck at center. Flyers unable to find the key to get through that blue line door of the Whalers. Now they go left side to Ben Wilson. Dumps it offensive right corner off the stick of Schmier. Sittler will pick it up. Goes around behind the net to Allison. Pokes to the near side. 2 Flyers in there. They poke it loose. Now Allison tries to kick it back the other way to control it. Drain it off from Schmier. Schmier now blocks it under his skate. And we get a stoppage of play. And perhaps Flockhart stepped back, forced Schmier to make a play because he was really surrounded by 3 orange jerseys. We have 1:07 remaining on the penalty to Jordy Douglas. 9:14 in the game, tied at 2. Flyers 0 for 1 on the power play, and this year against the Whalers, 2 for 5.
They're out shooting the Whalers 8 to 2 here in this 3 rather, in the third period, which is a better sign than the last few games, is that they're starting to drive more in the third period.
Clark, Hill, Holmgren, Barber, Hoffmeyer. Offensive right circle draw with 1:07 remaining on the penalty. Goes right in on the net. Millen will steer it around to the far side to Ron Francis. He's going to try to slap it past Hoffmeyer, who dumps it back behind the net. Clark screens it off away from Katsopoulos. Goes back along that far side, and it bounces off Holmgren right to Mahar, who'll roar up at center ice along with Francis at the Flyer line. Into the right wing corner. Mahar is taken right around behind. Still controls the puck. Falls down. Hoffmeyer tries to dig it away and does. As again they scream here. Up ice comes Hill on the right side, winds it around behind Millen. He sets it up, looks to play it out on the glass, and shoots it out of the building, and we get an offensive left circle face-off. 35 seconds remaining on the power play. 8:42 in the game. We're tied at 2, and Clark is saying he's done that twice now this period. No penalty, referring to Millen shooting the puck out of the ring.
Never works when you try to talk to the referee, because they seem to be they have cotton batting in their ears. They don't hear anything. But Mahar fell down, and everybody wanted a penalty. And none was called, and they've really been up in arms here over that, the fans. 2-2 the score, 8:42 remains. We have 35 seconds remaining on the penalty to Jordy Douglas.
All right, Philadelphia will now use a new unit. Flockhart, Allison, Sittler with Barber remaining out of the right point, and Ben Wilson on the left side, and the Whalers go with Francis and Miller. Blake Wesley with Mark Howe. Offensive left circle draw. Flyers still have a half minute plus 5 seconds on the advantage. A lot of time if you get control and set up the play. Back to Ben Wilson. Crosses off to Billy Barber. He's on the backhander. Lost the shot, so can only wrap it around behind the net to Allison, who'll try to go back and set it up to the point. Gets Ben Wilson there. Trying to draw over his man. To Allison along the left boards. Closing in. Right past to Barber. A shot. What a save by Millen as Barber didn't get it all. A beautiful cross from the left boards to the right circle of Barber breaking in, and Millen covered.
Boy, he was very quick to get from the right part of the net over to that left side to make that save, and it was an excellent setup with Barber moving right in, and he had a great opportunity. But Millen, again, when you're in that close, he's very, very quick. He and Lindbergh are very similar. I think your best chances of scoring on those two goaltenders is from out around the top of the circles, because in close, boy, are they quick.
And both goals by the Flyers were up on the left shoulder of Miller. The other one was under the crossbar. Sittler will take the draw with Allison, Flockhart, Barber, and Ben Wilson with 16 seconds on the advantage. Bouncing play by Hodges, and then the outlet pass hits Hodges, the linesman, and the Flyers get a break as it keeps in along the near side. The Flockhart out of that right wing corner. Allison is there, and it slides back through him to the left point. Then Wilson looks. No shot. Into the corner to Allison. Back to Wilson. Right through him into center ice and out of the penalty box comes Jordy Douglas as the Flyers now had to prevent against the break. They come to the near side. Billy Barber up the slot. Off Flockhart stick into the Whaler zone, and Whalers cleared back at center. Flockhart had it, lost it again along the near boards as he kicks through to the Flyer line, where it's played through to Allison by Sittler, and Allison, as he hits the Whaler left wing side at the blue line, rolls it behind, and the Whalers get it to Francis up on the near side from Reno. Rink wide pass broken up by Philadelphia's Ben Wilson. Sick handle still in his own end and works up through at center ice. He's got Sittler on the far side. He gets past Blaine Stoughton, but the puck came in behind him offside. And so with the neutral zone face-off from the Hartford Civic Center, 7:31 remain in the scoreless third period. Flyers 2 and the Whalers 2. Gene Hardlong with Bobby Taylor, 7:31 remaining in the game from Hartford tied at 2. Flyers have Lynchman out with Gorentz. And Sinisalo defensively. Hopmeyer with Jimmy Watson face-off at center ice, taken by Sinisalo up the middle, drops to Lynchman and Gorentz. They overskate, they collide. Here come the Whalers back 2-on-2. Watson and Hopmeyer back. There's a trailer coming on the play. Katsopoulos and diving with Sinisalo to break him up as he came up the slot. To Keon, left wing corner, in front, and hits a skate. As Katsopoulos was knocked down, and we're going to have a penalty against Philadelphia. I think Lynchman's going to go off for tripping Katsopoulos or tripping Knockbauer in front of the net, one of the two. Keon lifts it into Lindbergh, makes the block, and now we get the call. And it's going to be a trip. So with 6:58 remaining in the game, the Flyers pick up their 10th penalty of 16 whistled by referee Kerry Frazier. Whalers on their 5th power play, 2 for 4.
Really a scary time with only just under 7 minutes remaining, but Lynchman is hooking away the Don Knockbauer from the Whalers when Knockbauer just went to the ice. And the bad part about those penalties is it happens right in front of the referee, and it's away from the play. Flyers in a lot of their power plays and a lot of their penalties tonight, they've given Whalers the 5th. This is their 5th now. They've taken a lot of bad penalties. In fact, what I mean by bad is that 3 of the penalties have been entirely away from the puck. There's nothing to do with the play at all.
Mark out with Barber, Marchand with Arthur, and it's Francis with Stoughton right, Douglas left, Mark Howe, and Katsopoulos. Defensive right circle face-off Philadelphia. Whalers have had only 4 shots in this period. Now the puck taken by Clark, back to Arthur. Chase behind the net, taken off the puck by Stoughton. Douglas is in there. Clark tries to work it out on the near side. He does, but he has nobody with him as Francis takes it away. Francis back to the left point to Howe. Howe holds into the left circle of Francis. Goes deep at the goal line. Holds back to Howe at the point. They've got Jordy Douglas in front. Howe trying to work right side to Katsopoulos. There's a drive way up into the end seats off the stick of Billy Barber.
Barber really got over there quickly to get in front of Katsopoulos, and Katsopoulos took way too much time to set that shot up, and that enabled Barber to get over there, deflected high up over the glass.
Before we resume play, let's pause for station identification on the Flyers Hockey Network.
This is WTAF, TV 29 in Philadelphia.
Woody Brossiker handles the draw between Philadelphia's Bobby Clark, Hartford's Ron Francis, who wears that curved plexiglass shield, getting popular in the league to protect the eyes and facial structure. Stoughton on the right, Douglas on the left, along with Howe and Katsopoulos. Flyers try to come out, and Barber on the second try from Arthur sends it down. Clark, Barber, Arthur, and Marsh. 6:30 left in the game. 1:30 on the Whalers power play. 2 for 4 on the night. 2 for 8 on the year against Philadelphia. Katsopoulos up, will wind it around behind Lindbergh. Up on the left wing corner will be Francis to pick it up. He's got Douglas behind the net, but Fred Arthur won't let him make a play. Douglas and Francis fall down. Douglas still works the puck on the near side. Arthur takes it away. Won't let the Whalers make a play. Now they come out of the left wing corner. Francis back to Mark Howe at the left point. Picked up by Barber. Shot blocked by Barber. Along the near side, Francis tries to pick it up and go deep. Brad Marsh takes it off and tries to rush it through on the near side to center with Billy Barber. Marsh over the line. He's got Barber open for the breakaway. He's in. He shoots. He scores! Chard Heiner goal.
and number 40 for Billy Barber, but Brad Marsh made the play happen the whole length of the ice as he just really anticipated that play. Arthur did an excellent job of controlling the puck along the boards, pushing it around. Finally, with Brad Marsh breaking loose, he just fed a perfect pass to Barber, and Barber deked goaltender Millen instead of taking the shot, and he put it in for the shorthanded goal, 40th of the year, and the Flyers 3-2 lead.
When did Brad Marsh make a rush like that the last time within memory? Do you remember?
In Calgary, when he scored the winning goal.
Now that's the Flyers' first shorthanded goal. That's their 10th of the year since the 14th of January at Philadelphia when they beat Edmonton 8-2. Oh, that's a big one as the Flyers back, but here comes Mark Howe. There's still 30 seconds on the advantage. He's got Gary Howard in front. Can't make the play as Jimmy Watson ties him. Mahar goes left side. In front, Renault shot, and Pelle Lindbergh got the stick on that with Howard screening in front. The Whalers get it back to Howe at the point. Into the left circle to Neufeld. Howard is working on Hoffmeyer in front, and I think they're both going to go off. Or what? They both knocked one another down, and then the referee blew the whistle, Kerry Fraser. And they're both going off while we pick up the penalties. 5:13 remain in the game from the Hartford Civic Center. Flyers 3 and the Whalers 2.
Well, Hoffmeyer of the Flyers, Gary Howard of the Whalers will pick up high sticking minors. 14:47 is the time. Linsman has 15 seconds remaining on his penalty.
108 minutes for Hoffmeyer and even 100 now for Howard, as there have been 18 penalties in the game, 11 to Philadelphia. Those are called coincidental minors, and while the penalties will be served, the teams will not skate any further men short on ice, as Philadelphia will get Linsman back in 6 seconds as the Whalers got burned on the shorthanded play. There's a centering pass into the offensive right wing corner, played back to the point and into center ice as Katsopoulos is bumped by Linsman. 2-on-1. Barber in with Clark. Clark a drive, hit the post. He gets the rebound. He's got Barber in front. Couldn't find him with a pass. To the point, Wilson with a drive. Cut off in front of the net. And the outlet throw to Mahar at the Flyer line along the left wing board. Into the corner. Clark gave the Flyers a chance. There's a centering pass. Taken off by Wilson in front. Marvelous action end-to-end. Linsman coming with Barber. Up the middle. 2-on-2. Over the line. Works to the near side. A backhander shot wide. Barber from an angle behind the net tries to shoot in on the net. As some dumbbell now throws a lot of debris on the ice that hit a couple of Hartford players coming out of the zone. What a way to mar a marvelous hockey game. Into the zone. Howe has got Knockfire in front of the net, but there's Marsh to block the pass out from the offensive right corner. Mark Howe digs it out again. He's just a whirlwind with the puck. To the point. Oh, dumps it cross ice. There's Miller. A shot. Save. Rebound. Save. Keon couldn't smash the rebound home as it was swept away from him at the last second. And it's cleared, but to the point and not out, and finally taken off by Flockhart. 3:57 remaining in the game as we have an offside call. Holy cow, what action with 3:55 remaining in the game. And we are Philadelphia 3 and the Whalers 2. Don't forget, playoff tickets are right now available. Hold on to the telephone, make sure you hear the radio or watch the TV set, and go over and dial. If you're out of the Philadelphia area, the area code 215. If you're within that area, all you have to do then is dial LINE, line, LINE and the number 555. Operators are on duty right now to take your orders for playoff tickets, and they're also available at all Ticketron locations. That's for the upcoming first round preliminary series best of 5 of the New York Rangers. Up through, Holmgren lifts it into the zone. Around behind the Whaler net with 3:40 remaining in the game. The Flyers fighting back from a 2-0 deficit in the first period to tie it in the second and go ahead on Billy Barber's shorthanded goal. His 40th of the year, but watch out, Stoughton back. He can drill. Tries to go cross-house to Stoughton. Broken up by Gorentz. He's in a foot race. Wide angle with Renault, a drive, and it deflected in on goaltender Millen. Now Gorentz with a rebound out of that left wing corner. Flyers all of a sudden skating with a fury and a confidence that the lead has given them an excellent performance tonight. Now Gorentz sweeps it off to the near side. He looks to the net. Tries to cut out from that right boards. Can't. Looks for Holmgren behind the net. He's tied up by Katsopoulos, and that allows Blaine Stoughton to come out of his right wing corner and lead it up through to Renault and Keon at center ice, coming with Jordy Douglas and Stoughton. Stoughton through on that far side. Looks to Marsh, and Marsh takes it away and fires it off the player in the penalty box or off one of the residue restrainers in the penalty box, and that causes a stoppage of play, and that allows Hoffmeyer and Howitt to come out of the penalty box. Remember, on those coincidental minors with a team already short, teams do not skate any more men short, but the players with the 2-minute minors are not permitted to come back on the ice in that situation until the first stoppage of play. Well, the penalty box is empty. We've had 17 all told in the game. and 11 of them to Philadelphia. Bobby Taylor has gone down now to ice side as the teams wind their way down to this final 181 seconds. The Flyers leading on 3-2, and with a gutsy come from behind the lead, just that far away from a pick victory. Clark on with Sinisalo and Barber. Ben Wilson there with Jimmy Watson. The Flyers get it in the zone, work up on the near side and lift through into the zone. Sinisalo tries to make the play. Clark takes it in late, and that catches Sinisalo offside. Well, it's been a dandy game. If you like hockey, you'd love this one. Even if you didn't like hockey, if you happen to tune in, you'd think this was a great athletic competition. Up and down, great goaltender saves, hard checking, couple imbroglios, tough hard-nosed play, some dandy saves, and some marvelous goals, particularly that set up by Marsh from his own right wing corner up the boards, 2-on-1, setting up Barber beautifully, who scored his 40th, and a shorthanded goal. Puck back for Barber, by the way. That gives him the club leadership as he picked up his 4th. Puck at center ice. Whalers through on the near side to Francis. Shot in on Lindbergh, covers the puck and then falls on it as he had Jordy Douglas coming in on him and didn't want him to put pressure on Jimmy Watson behind the net. Shots in this period, indication of Philadelphia coming up with a strong third period on the road. They've outshot the Whalers by the tune of 12-7 and 37-31 for the game. Now some more garbage has come on the ice. Oh, fans would only cease that. Of course, I guess you can't call them fans. Fans wouldn't do that. Hockey fans and sport fans don't do that. Goons do it. Don't be a dimwit. Not only do you risk injury to the players on the ice, as we've often said, but you also degrade some great athletes on both sides that have to stand out there and have garbage called out of them when they're on their playing surface. Not needed. Puck behind the Philadelphia net on the faceoff, taken by Brad Marsh, is out with Arthur, and it's Sittler on along. Up, there's a steal. Now there was Mahar in front, couldn't make the play. There's a dump in, backhand shot, blocked in front, slapped that back to the point. There goes Renault with a shot, blocked in front as behind goaltender Lindbergh was Marsh to cover up the open spot, and a dandy play by Brad Marsh. Puck in the Flyers' defensive right wing corner, and we get a standoff with the Whalers getting an offensive left circle draw with 2:14 remaining in the game. Philadelphia fell behind when they were 2 men down, and Francis scored at 16:05 of the first period. Then with the Flyers still a man down, Douglas scored at 16:44. It was 2-0 going in the second. Al Hill at 9:33 is 5th to tie it. Flockhart is 32nd at 17:03, or that one did the tying. Hill brought them within 1. And then here in the third period, with the Whalers on the power play, Billy Barber and a great play by Brad Marsh to score a shorthanded goal, and the Flyers have fought back to lead by the count. 3-2, but there's still 2:14 remaining in the game. Miller, Mahar, Howard, Renault, and Katsopoulos out there. Sittler take the defensive right circle draw against Warren Miller. Puck goes to Ben Wilson. Comes out in front of his net as the Whalers drop back. Has trouble with a rolling puck and just dumps it to center. Knocked down there by Katsopoulos. Rolls through on the right side to Miller. He lifts into the Philadelphia zone to the left of Lindbergh. Sets it up for Wilson. Wraps it around to the far side. The Whalers keep it in. Overskating it along that far boards is Miller. And this time Flockhart just chews it to center ice with 1:55 remaining in the game. Whalers try to come through on the left wing side. There goes Mahar and a dump in around behind Lindbergh, who sets it up for Marsh. Marsh wraps it on the far side and Sittler controls. Looks for an outlet on the near side. Gets a break as it's deflected off the stick. Through to Allison. Up the middle. Hold. Shot. What a shot. He scores through the screen. What a great setup. And I'll tell you why. We're in perfect line. And he got inside. He saw Flockhart breaking for the net and held off until Flockhart created the screen and drilled it long side. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the art of shooting the puck at the right time. Flockhart goes in front of the net. He waits and gets the screen. And there you could see no play by goaltender Greg Millen. And it's a dandy goal at 18:22. Beautiful goal by Ray Allison. And what a goal for him to come back to Hartford, who said, "You're not going to make it, kid. We're going to send you to Philadelphia to get his 16th. Wilson. Marsh and Wilson. Well, Brad Marsh has had a big third period with 2 assists on the Flyers' lead goal and the opportunity goal. Puck up along the near side. The Flyers just drill at the center. Great comeback by the Flyers as they score 2 in the second and 2 in the third. Now the pressure is on the New York Rangers. There's a play through to Keon. He pivots along the right side. Shot in on the net, and Lindbergh with a good scoop save along the near side away from Blaine Stoughton, who still hangs in front of the net as the Flyers work it up through. Hill with Lynchman 2-on-1. Open net. Backhand score! Open net score by Kenny Lynchman at 18:58, and the Flyers have blown it open. Whalers went with that extra forward. And Lynchman got the feed on the backhander, and no play by Mark Howe.
Philadelphia goal scored by number 14, Ken Lynchman.
Lynchman picks up number 21. Al Hill and Hoffmeyer. A lot of heroes tonight. Marsh with 2 assists, Hill with the 2 assists and a goal. And for Kenny Lynchman, just to reiterate, goal number 21, and it comes at 18:58. Gutty performance tonight for Philadelphia. 1 minute remaining in the game. They fell behind and showed a lot of moxie. This came back and chugging away and chugging away and chugging away and won this hockey game. Buck behind the net, and the last score we had at Washington, the Caps won on Baruch's 57th goal, and no score for the Rangers. Now here comes Douglas through. Open pass in the wing looking for Neufeld. Billy Barber picks it off. Here comes a 2-on-1. Gorence with Clark. Gorence in. He's got Clark there. Pass, and he couldn't handle it. In front it comes again to Billy Barber. Shoves it at the side of the net. Gorence around for a stuffer. Knocked down in front. Past Millen. They poke at it. And the Flyers like this, and they want more with 26 seconds remaining in the game. And you know, we're going to make one of our cockamamie trivia thoughts. Bob McCammon may become the first of 5 coaches in the history of the Flyers to win their first game behind the bench. Keith Allen lost his first game at Oakland 5-1. Vic Stasiuk lost his first game in his first year at Minnesota 4-0. Freddie Shero, I believe, was beaten in his first game. Bob McCammon's first game as Flyer coach in 78-79 was a 3-all tie. And Pat Quinn's first game behind the bench was a 4-1 loss to the New York Islanders. So Bob McCammon makes sort of trivia history tonight as the Whalers got out 2-0 and the Flyers with 20 seconds left. How sweet this one is going to be. And they meet the Whalers right back tomorrow night at the Spectrum. Puck behind the Philadelphia net, 10 seconds, and this is going to be National Hockey League #1 for Pelle Lindbergh, who's played again for the 3rd straight game. Dandy in the nets. 4, 3, 2, 1. And the game is over. And Pelle Lindbergh just did a cute little thing. He took the blade of his stick and used it as if it was his right hand and tapped his left gloves as if he was applauding. And what he was saying is, thank you, team, for a great effort and a win. #1 for Pelle Lindbergh. And again, a lot of heroes tonight. Al Hill with a goal and 2 assists. Brad Marsh with a brilliant play, and Billy Barber set up with a shorthanded goal, and then Al Hill again. So there it is, the final score. The Philadelphia Flyers 5, the Hartford Whalers 2. And stay tuned for the Pepsi postgame show coming up next.
Welcome to the Pepsi postgame show, brought to you by the Pepsi-Cola bottlers of the Delaware Valley, who want you to take the Pepsi challenge. Hi, everybody. This is Bobby Taylor, and with our star of the game, Al Hill. And Hilly, Gene and I it almost seemed like it was the Al Hill show out there tonight. You had such a strong game. Would you say this would be your best complete game, overall aspect of the year?
Well, I think at the start of the year I had a few good games, but then I got hurt, and then I wasn't playing very much after I got hurt. And I think this is probably the best game I played for a long time. So.
Every aspect of it, the forechecking, the hitting, and the scoring, it just seemed to flow together. You really feel good before the game?
Yeah, I think we were all ready to play tonight. We need the win because we're still trying to catch the Rangers. So it was a very good forechecking game for us, and a lot of us were hitting and everything, so that's the way the Flyers are going to have to play to win.
The shock, Pete Peters, we had him on in the radio, and he said it was a shock to the players, Pat Quinn's dismissal. Do you think that shock is the thing that might just prod the players along?
I think so. We wanted to work really hard for Pat, and things just weren't working out right, and a lot of us know Bobby McCammon just because we played with him down in Maine, and he has a lot of confidence in a lot of us, I think with me too, so we all wanted to just go out there and win the game.
You and Tommy Gorens played quite a bit together out there tonight. I guess that helps when you don't play or don't get enough ice time, that you have a guy out there that you know where he's going to be.
That's for sure. Tommy and I played together in Maine with Blake Dunlop for a couple of years, and then played with him with Mel too, so I know exactly what Tommy's going to do most of the time, so it really helps us out.
It really helped to Flockhart's goal, I thought.
Yeah, it did, because Tommy knows I'm going to go behind the net if he's stuck in the corner, so Flocky was just wide open, so I just flicked it out there.
Was it a tough game here tonight?
Well, it's because we got ourselves in trouble with the penalties. We get one and we doubled up, so things like that is just basically discipline, and we got to improve on that.
Puck was bouncing an awful lot as well. It appeared to me like maybe the ice wasn't as good as it should be.
Oh, it was tough sledding out there tonight. It's kind of really slow ice and so bumpy, and puck was bouncing all over us, right?
Do you find it that if it's a slow ice that it helps the Flyers?
Well, it doesn't help me because I'm not one of those great skaters, but it slows down the good skaters, I guess.
Tomorrow night you're back with the same team. Did you find them a much more spirited team than the first time? I know it goes back a long way. You got to remember way back in October.
Well, we had a tough start just because of the penalties, I think, but tomorrow we'll come out the same way and bump and grind like we did tonight, and should come out okay.
That's the one thing, I guess, that you have to really get yourself in a groove. You can't do different things at home as you do on the road. You got to do it both places.
Yeah, we haven't been too good on the road, and tonight was a big win for us, and hopefully it'll continue on.
Al, thanks for being our guest, and again, a great game.
Yeah, thanks, Chief.
Our guest, Al Hill, we'll be back with more, but first, these words.
For Tom LeMaine, this is Mike Emmerich with highlights of the Flyers and Hartford Whalers. Whaler goalie Greg Millen was forced early by Darryl Sittler's right circle drive. Moments later, Millen had to stop Bobby Clark's backhander from in front of the crease. With the Flyers 2 men short, Mike Howe fed from the left point to Ron Francis at the left, who scored on his second attempt to make it 1-0. Still with the man advantage, it was Howe shooting from the left point and Jordy Douglas poking home the rebound, 2-0 Hartford. The final face-off of the period produced a skirmish that resulted in game misconducts to Frank Bathe, Brian Propp, and Hartford's Doug Sullivan. Players from both teams drifted onto the ice. Goalies Pelle Lindbergh and Greg Millen watched side by side. Flyers coach Bob McCammon protested the handling of the first period by referee Kerry Frazier. The second period began with both teams at full strength. 5 minutes into the period, it was another power play to the Whalers. Lindbergh was remarkable in the Flyers' cage, stopping Ron Francis from out in front at point-blank range, and then a combination right-point wrister by Howe and rebound by Douglas. Fresh from the penalty box, Al Hill took a left-to-right pass from Darryl Sittler and beat Malone with a backhander at 9:33 to bring the Flyers back to within 1. Continuing to forecheck, the Flyers scored again with 2:57 left in the second. Hill, from Gorance, found Flockhart in front for the rookie sensation's 32nd of the year. Wily 41-year-old Dave Keon saw his patented backhander grabbed off by Lindbergh. 2-2 at the end of 2. Early in the final period, Ken Lintzman turned on the speed and moved in from the right wing, but was shut off by Millen. Another Whaler power play, but shorthanded, Brad Marsh started a 2-on-1 and fed right to left to Bill Barber. That was after Barber had a good try from the short side. The play again, Marsh starting it ahead to Barber, and ahead for Barber was another 40-goal season. Back came the Flyers again, but the iron looked like a utility pole on Clark's left circle attempt. The Whalers' best chance in the final minute came when Warren Miller's right side shot was blocked and Darryl Sittler prevented Keon from getting a golden rebound opportunity. The clincher came from ex-Whaler Ray Allison's stick when his right circle blast found the left side of the net. Then, with just a minute and 2 seconds remaining, Lintzman converted a 2-on-1 into an empty net tally to add frosting to the cake. The final, Flyers 5, Hartford Whalers 2. Lindbergh's first NHL victory, McCammon's 241st through 5 years in the Flyers organization. Big night for the Flyers collectively. That's the Highlights Review. I'm Mike Emmerich.
Lockhart again and Neufeld. Bob Hodges, there's the drop into the corner, and the period comes to an end with the score.
Here we go. Here we go. Frank Bathe. What had happened now, Ron Flockhart is grabbing a hold of Kotsopoulos. Now Bathe has gone after Kotsopoulos.
And then Smear grabs Flockhart. And there can be no first player off the bench because they were leaving at the end of the period. Now Jack McIllargey's in there. Brad Marsh has a hold of him. In there, Neufeld trying to get in. Gary Howitt and Brian Propp are at it. Now Propp has been held off by linesman Gordy Brossinger as Howitt circles to the backside of the pack.
Propp has a hold of Sullivan. It all started right at the final buzzer when Bathe knocked down Sullivan. Sullivan got up, dropped his gloves, and started wailing away on Frank Bathe. It appeared that Brian Propp then grabbed a hold of Sullivan, and all Propp's doing is holding down Sullivan. And Bathe got up and went after Kotsopoulos. Now it seems like they have calmed down somewhat, but now Kotsopoulos is in there. And there's
he's talking to referee Kerry Fraser.
Interesting, we have all three coaches on the ice directly to the near side walking out. John Cunniff, assistant coach, to the left. Larry Plow is right along the near boards. And Bob McCammon in the flat jacket, yelled by Turk Edwards of the Flyers. New member of the training staff, as the two goaltenders are talking. Now there's still Milling in there. I wonder if Greg Millen knows any Swedish. Chris Katsopoulos. They all gather in, and they haven't been happy enough to... And Paul Holmgren now is talking.
While Katsopoulos was having a few words with Clark.
They're still milling around. As unusual, because in this building, the coaches have to leave the penalty player benches to go on the ice to the respective corners, so rarely will you see the coaches involved. And now Bob McCammon is joining at Kerry Fraser from a distance. Now Fraser is skating to the far side.
Why now, as all three officials have a hold of a Flyer?
Yeah. And Bob McCammon is joining at Kerry Fraser to no end.
By the way,